Thursday Night Tailgate, where the spotlight is always on the positive. Tune in Thursday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time to hear your favorite NFL legends, players, and coaches sharing their stories. Now back to Chris and Bob.
I wouldn't joke about anything else that happens here tonight.
Okay, now back with us on the Kaiven Foods guest line and making his 9th appearance with us and our 5th member of our 2017 Guest Hall of Fame class is Kerry Glenn, and what an outstanding guest Kerry has been with us over the years. He first joined us back in April of 2013, and he's been a part of the TNT family for nearly 4.5 years now as well, and we love him because, you know, he always has a big smile on his face, and you can hear it in his voice when he talks to us, and always, you know, shares great stories and insights, and nobody has better style than Kerry Glenn does. And if you're not following on Facebook, you should be. Go check it out. The man knows how to dress, and he's, like I said, he's been a wonderful guest with us. Let me give you a little bit of background on Kerry. He's from East St. Louis, Illinois. Played his college ball at the University of Minnesota. He was a 10th round draft pick by the New York Jets in 1985, and he played defensive back in the NFL from 85 to 92 for the Jets and the Dolphins. He was selected for the 1990 Pro Bowl for his special teams play and leading the Dolphins in special teams tackles. Over the course of his career, he had 7 interceptions, 2 of which he returned for touchdowns and 2 sacks. And we are honored to have him as a part of our 2017 Thursday Night Tailgate Guest Hall of Fame class. Hey, Kerry, Chris, and Bob, thanks for being so great to us over the years and for joining us again tonight.
Chris and Bob, yes. See, I was listening to Richard Webb. Okay, see, Richard Webb, he's not going to say this, but I'm going to say this. So next time you talk to him, ask him about it. He didn't mention anything about when I was rushing, they had me blitzing and he was the tackle over there. He didn't tell you anything about that. Let me tell you guys a little bit about that. You know, Richmond came in. You know, when he came in, I didn't speak to rookies. I mean,
is that right?
I did not speak to rookies. You make the team. You show me that you're doing something. I talked to. I mean, he used to come and he would say something to me, and I just like act like he wasn't talking to me. So,
he's a big man.
I know he is. I know he's a big boy. And so they used to blitz me. You know, like we go through the weekly practice, and then I would then work on our blitzing and all that stuff. And I was blitzing from like the nickel position. You know. I was blitzing. I'm going. I say, and I blitz, and Richmond, you look at me. I'm 5'10", and you look at Richmond. He's like 6'5", 6'6", 300 some pounds. And I'm like, I say, just let me get through it every once in a while. Let me get through it every once in a while. Because he was. He kept. But I'm gonna tell you something about him. Richmond he's a humble guy. Don't let him tell him about himself. Richmond is, I'll tell you right now, he's one of the best tackles in the game. And I kid you not. I mean, on a serious note, I seen him play when he came in as a rookie, and I was like, damn, this is a bad boy. I mean, he's good. I mean, and then when you look at Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith could not dominate him. And that was the key to it. I know Richmond said, he had a little help. Let me tell you something right now. A lot of times Richmond didn't have help. A lot of times Richmond was handling Bruce by himself. And I'm telling you something, he did a heck of a job. So I just want to let you know. And like you said, he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. He absolutely positively deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been ringing that bell for a few years now. It's a mystery to us. Kerry, I want to get your thoughts on how the game is officiated now. It seems like wide receivers can do pretty much whatever they want, including push off a lot of times. And meanwhile, the defensive backs, you can't touch anybody. They got to be looking back at the quarterback if they want to make a play on the receiver, or if not, it's pass interference. And don't hit anyone hard, by the way, because even if you hit a guy hard without hitting him to the head, if you hit him hard in the ribs, it seems like that's a penalty now too. So it just feels like to me, Kerry, that defensive back might be the toughest position to play in all of sports now. Does it seem that way to you?
Yeah, one thing about it, I just think some of the guys are just not. They got to stick with their fundamentals. When I look at the game, and I look at the game because this is football, and let me explain to you how it goes. You get drafted. You get drafted out of college. Okay, you go to the pros. When you go to the pros, the game is fast. Okay, the game is fast. Okay, now when you become that person that understands the defense and understand the offense of the teams, the game becomes slow. I don't know if you understand. Do you understand what I mean? Then the games become
well. I mean,
slower
I get it on some level, but what does that mean? I mean, once you become familiar with all the different plays, now you know where everyone's at, so it slows down for you. What are you trying to? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. The game slows down, and you know exactly where they're going to throw the ball. Because I knew what everybody was doing. I knew what gap the tackle was going in. I knew what gap the center was going in. I mean the nose guard. I knew what tackle the defense end. I knew what gap he was going in. I was always involved. I always wanted to get involved with that. And that was from Bud Carson Tulish to me. But Bud Carson, he brought me in his office, and that's the reason why I made the league, because Bud told me, hey, this is what you got to do to be in the league. He said, you need to know what those linebackers are doing. You need to know if they're buzzing out to the flats. And that's what a lot of these guys, they just not just some of the stuff is just basic fundamentals of the game, and they're not really doing it. Now when it comes to like the defensive back play, I think that the calls that they're making is terrible. Because my deal is, I wonder whether or not the guys who was just penalizing these guys, they don't understand whether or not the ball is blown up or stuck. Because the reason why is because it takes a fraction of a second for everything to happen. I broke my leg in the game. And guess how I broke my leg? I hit Mel Gray, was playing Detroit. I hit Mel Gray. I planted my leg. And just that very second, J.B. Brown hit him and spun him around. When he hit him and spun him around, I broke my leg. It's just a fraction of a second of everything. And so when they send back trying to say, oh well, when you making a hit, you could have dropped your head a little bit lower. And I seen one of the preseason games where one of the guys, the offensive guy, dropped his head, and they penalized the defensive player for that. And I'm like, come on, he dropped his head. How far do you want the defensive back to drop his head?
Right.
That's the part I don't understand. I mean, it's just like I said, the whole game. If you look at when you see this happen on some of the games, you just look at it. Everything is a fraction of a second, and
right.
you cannot tell that player or either make a player, change his head direction in a fraction of a second. That's totally impossible to happen.
Right. Bob, questions for Kerry?
Kerry, we talked in the past about Bud Carson a lot and went over the greatness of him. And I just loved watching his defenses. And back then, those mid-80 teams, especially 85, that was the sack exchange. And when you pick up the New York Post, and that's what you would read about, the sack exchange. I was wondering if the DBs on that team took a little exception to that, because you had some very, very talented defensive backs like Johnny Lynn, yourself, and Kirk Springs. These guys could play, but what was it like playing with the sack exchange?
It was great because it depends. We had to we always had to really keep Mark in check, of course.
Yeah.
We always had to keep Mark in check, but it was great. I mean, there's a few times where I got in Klecko's face about a couple of things, and Bud was like, and this is like in the middle of the game. I mean, we was playing Cleveland, and Kevin Mack comes through the line untouched. I go up and I make the tackle. Then I go back to the huddle, and I'm like, I'm saying, hey, I don't give what you guys are doing, but I tell you what, you better put a hand on him. I say, he's coming through the line, and I'm hitting him, and then they're like, Kerry. And I'm talking to that Kerry. And I'm like, what? You need to go to the sideline. I say, why do I need to go to the sideline? Look down, you're bleeding. I cracked my head open from hitting Kevin Mack. And so I went over, and I got some, they did the butterfly thing, and And I went back in the game, and when I'm on sideline, Bud asked me, he said, "Come here. What were you saying? Why were you yelling at Klecko?" I say, "I'm yelling at him because you see this right here? See those butterflies I have on my head? I say, that's because of him. See, he needs to put a hand on Kevin Mack." And then Bud looked at me, and then Bud looked at me like, okay. He said, "Get back in the game." but yeah, I mean, see, that was a thing right there. I mean, it's like those guys. I mean, Joe Klecko was a bad boy. I mean, and it is, I mean, there's nothing, like I said, he should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, because I've seen Joe, like I said, I've seen Joe Klecko do something in the game. I've seen him take a man that was 280 or 290 pounds and lift him off the ground. I've seen him do that. This is in the game, and you see the play, you wouldn't even recognize that it happened. Bud Carson ran the film, and then he said, "You guys see that?" And everybody in the room was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then he ran the play back. He said, "Look at the center and look at Joe Klecko." The only thing we saw is Joe Klecko push the center in the backfield. We didn't really. That's the only thing we knew. But when he ran it back and ran it in slow motion, Joe Klecko picked this guy up. He had the guy off the ground, and the guy's feet was dangling in the air.
Wow.
and yeah, I mean, Joe Klecko was a bad boy. I mean, he used to wear gloves. He wore like the triple X gloves. He used to cut those in half, and he had to tape them on his hands because he had huge hands. And he used to always come up, and I used to hate it. And he used to always come up to me and say, "Oh, you're doing, rookie?" And he'll slap me right on the damn chest. Like, dude, come on, man. Quit him with them big old bear claws. But yeah, I mean, that right there in itself was just, it was great playing, with those guys, and then, Mark, it was always, when I got drafted, I was like, man, I got some guys that can rush the passer, so me as a defensive back, I was just thinking to myself, I have to learn everything, and I gotta stay in that film room, learn this stuff, because, these guys can rush the passer, and that'll be a good thing for me.
Yeah, and for you personally, Kerry, going up against guys like Al Toon and Wesley Walker in practice, those are two of the better receivers in the league. They were on your own team. May sound silly, but they had to make you a better player. Mickey Shuler too can catch passes. Those must have been great practices.
Oh yeah. Well, what I did, I was working with Al Toon. I liked, because I played against him in college. And me and Al, we played against each other in college and stuff, and he knew how I was. Al knew how I was, because they called a pass interference on me, and I picked off a ball in the end zone. They called a pass interference on me after Al Toon, after he pushed me. I'm like, really? And Al started laughing. He said, "You did get a pick, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah, I did." He said, "That's all right, but we got the ball." But yeah, I mean, it's that's what I did. I went to Wesleyan. I said, "Listen, I want to go against you guys." I said because I want to go against a rookie, and I want to go against the best. I say, because you know what though? Only thing that's gonna make me better is going against you guys and covering you guys. And then Bud Bud had a special interest in me. So what he would do, he would just like, hey, come in there and look at film. I want you to look at Lester Hayes, and look. I want you to do the things that Lester Hayes is doing. And and everybody know Lester Hayes back in the day. He was a bad boy. Yeah, he was.
So, Kerry, before we let you go, let our listeners know how can they follow you, stay up to date with all the things that you're doing, and whether it's online or it's over social media.
Oh yes, you could on Twitter, and if you'll see my name, Kerry Glenn. I mean Kerry Glenn, 35 on Twitter, and then on Facebook, just my name, Kerry Glenn. And I like to I do like to dress.
Yes, you do.
I like to dress when I go out. I got a wedding this weekend, so you'll see some photos of me at the wedding. Yeah, at the wedding. And I've always been like a guy that like to dress, and I played for the Dolphins. I mean, Coach Shula Coach Shula. I think was one of the best coaches, one of the best head coaches that I've ever played for, and he, and he was, me and him had a little thing going on, because Shules used to check me. He used to check me before I got on the plane to see what I was wearing. I walk on the plane, he would say, "Stop. Let me see what you got on. Hold on. Let me see." He would check me out from head to toe when we get on the plane. He'd check me out from head to toe. Then one time he was like, "I got the same shoes you got there." I say, "Oh yeah?" I say, "But you don't have the same suit." And then then Shules. And then one time we was playing in Buffalo, and it was just like this. I don't know. I met this family. And I guess they were like a fan of mine, and then they would, every time I come out, they Kerry, and then they say, "Come on up," I go up to to where they're tailgating at, and then I got some food, and then and I'm coming, because at that time I'm hungry after the game, so I come back down, I come down the stairs and get on the bus. Guess who's there? Shules. He goes, "Kerry, hold on, where you going?" He said, "Oh, what you got there?" I said, "I got some food." He said, "You got some food? Where'd you get that from?" I said, "Yeah, I got some fans up there. They gave it to me." And he goes like, "Oh, okay. Can I get some of that?" I said, "I tell you what, Shules, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you the whole plate. I'm gonna go back up there and get me another one." He said, "Oh, that sounds good," because he was hungry. But yes, Shula was one of when I broke my leg in Detroit, I said that I broke my leg because I heard it. I heard the bone snap when I broke. They didn't, and they X-rayed my leg. They didn't X-ray the whole joint. So what they X-rayed my leg from the ankle just midway my calf. They didn't do it all the way, and I told them my leg was broke. And so they, when they was treating me, they was treating me as a sprained ankle. But then, I was running, I still had pain in my leg, and then I just went and got a second opinion on it, and I came back and I was pissed off. and when I pissed off, I said, "I'm going home." I just left the complex. Coach Shula called me up. He said, "Kerry, what happened?" I said, "Shules." I said, "You remember when we was in Detroit, when I came off the field and you came over to me?" I said, "My leg was broke." He said, "Yes." I said, "My leg was broke." I said, "They're treating me. They're treating me for something, for the sprained ankle. But I'm out there running, and I'm running on a broken leg." And then he said, "Okay, well, don't come back in today. Just take some time off. Take a couple of days off." He said, "Take a couple of days off, and then you come on back to the complex." I mean, Coach Shula was. I mean, at this time, he was one of the nicest coach. I mean, if you're the person, and like Richmond said, if you're a person that didn't break the rules, you're cool. I mean, Coach Shula don't have a problem with you. You're doing what you're supposed to do, and there's no trouble. And that was the type of player I was. I wasn't a player out there, late night, practicing. I know my whole deal. And I came in, and one thing he don't know too as well, Mike Westhoff. I was helping Mike Westhoff do the game plan. He didn't know that, and I was picking everybody on the special teams. So I was picking it. I had people that whoever I put on there, that's what I put on there. And he don't know that as of today. I hope he's not listening.
Well, Kerry, thank you so much for taking time out of your night to come back on the show and for being so great to Bob and I over the years. It is an honor for us to have you as a member now of our Guest Hall of Fame. We always have so much fun when you're a part of the show. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being such a great guest over the last 4+ years, and we always look forward to the next time because you're so fantastic.
But thank you guys. Thank you for having me on the show. And like I said before, anytime you guys want me to be on your show, I'm almost always available for you guys, no matter what. I don't care where I'm at. So,
thank you, Kerry.
I'm always available to you guys. So
we appreciate you, Kerry. All the best to you and your family.
All right, buddy. Thank you guys, and you guys have a good one.
We'll talk
you
soon.
too, Kerry.
Take care.
Okay.
That is former Jets and Dolphins defensive back Kerry Glenn, and we always have such a great time when he is a part of the show because you can hear the enthusiasm in his voice and you can almost see the smile in his face.